Laser sights increase confidence regardless of experience level, whether you're learning the fundamentals or overcoming aging eyes. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
The number one national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, we're back with you. If you'd like to join us on the air, well, that's easy. Just give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, or dial Tom, Talk Gun. Now, I mentioned earlier, we have this cool giveaway going on. If you go to guntalk.com/win, that's WIN, you can enter for a chance to win one of the very cool things that we're giving away. Let's see, we have somebody's going to win $1,000 in SIG handgun ammo. Somebody's going to win 2 SIG electro-optics. Somebody's going to win a SIG P210 target pistol with SIG ammo. It goes on and on. I mean, we like teaming up with SIG. We did, was it 2 years ago now? We did the last Gun Talk specific gun we did was the GT20, the 10 millimeter pistol we did with SIG. They're always doing stuff. They're always creating new things, and it's fun to be a part of that. Joining me right now to talk about some of the newest things they're doing, Patrick Hanley joins us from SIG Sauer. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, how are you doing, Tom?
I am well. I've been having some fun kind of drooling on my computer here, looking at your website. You guys just have the coolest stuff, man.
We are deep into innovation. We're always trying to come up with the next thing.
Yeah, no kidding. So tell me about, I guess, is it Virtus is how you say that?
Yeah, so the Virtus is really, it's the next generation of the MCX. So the MCX, we've had it around for a few years now, and we've had a few changes kind of ongoing with it. But the Virtus is really everything that we've taken from everything that contract tender we've competed with. We've taken all of what we learned from those, and we really put it into the Virtus, which ultimately to us is like the perfect rifle. I mean, we've done millions of rounds of testing through this gun. Just it's insane the amount of ammo that's been shot through these things to really prove this thing as the perfect rifle in its category.
No wonder you had to build your own ammo plant if you're doing all that testing.
It's a benefit to have that so that you are able to do that kind of level of testing, yes.
Yeah, no kidding. So, all right, so this is the newest version of the MCX. Well, I was going to say rifle, but you also have it in a pistol configuration, don't you?
We do. We have a pistol also, which comes with a PSB folding brace that we have on it. So we have our PSB, our SBR, and then we have our 16-inch patrol versions.
And what's this chambered in?
We have it in 300 blackout, and we have it in 5.56.
Okay, so you can go both ways with that. I was looking at the pistol and looking at that in blackout and going, that is the coolest little package. If people are looking for a small package that you would naturally put a suppressor on, 300 blackout pistol with the folding stock on it, holy cow, that's a package right there.
It's an ideal setup. With our subsonic and supersonic ammo, you have, different variations of ammo that you can put through it. The rifle itself was designed to work around 300 blackout when we first brought it out. Right. We saw the development of the round, and we're actually seeing more traffic and activity amongst the groups that we deal with, where 300 blackout is becoming much bigger, especially with some of the recent developments around the world. Yep. 30 cal is becoming a hot topic right now, where people want a little bit more knockdown power.
Well, especially if once you start going with short barrels that you can suppress, and you really do want it to be quiet, you got to go lower velocity. It's got to be under 1,100 feet per second. So you might as well go with a bigger, fatter, heavier bullet that you can push up to that. And that's a hard barrier for sound. You get the most energy you can by going to a heavier bullet.
That is correct, yeah.
All right, so what is the Rattler?
The Rattler was, that to me is one of it shows the really what the MCX is. With that short stroke piston system, we were able to develop a gun that folded, goes down to 16 inches in a 5.56 and a 300 blackout. This platform became a reality because we were actually dealing with some of these groups that basically said to us, the MP5 or any of these pistol caliber guns that we're using aren't cutting it in situations where we need a gun to actually be able to get out of somewhere. Some other groups were even telling us they had to literally pack their M4 down and take it into pieces so they could get it small enough. So what the Rattler was really designed to do was how small and how discreet can we make a rifle caliber? And this gun is as small as you can possibly get. At 16 inches, you can pack it down really, really tight. And we actually have a PSB collapsing brace version that fully put down as a pistol is 19 3/4 inches collapse.
Let me explain for those who may not have caught quite what you're saying. I have a couple of friends, as they say, who go places and do things. And as one of them was explaining, he said, I shot one guy, and believe it or not, the 9mm bullet got hung up in his coat and didn't get to him. And we shot another guy where the bullet went through the seat and it clogged up. And I'm thinking, and they're using handguns. I'm thinking, what, specifically to your point, what they need, and that it's got to be small, it's got to be concealable. Because I mean, look, they're riding through Mosul. I mean, they're doing stuff, and they need something like this. This is exactly what they're looking for.
This thing's got knockdown power. The ballistics, which we're putting our ballistics charts up on our website shortly to show, on the 5.56, you do lose some of your ballistics, but still, with the lighter bullet, you still have a 200, 300-yard gun. And with the 300 blackout, with our most popular seller being the 6 3/4 in the past, you're only going down about another 1.25 inches. But we were actually able on this version to shorten the upper, so you get that full length advantage of pulling the length of the gun back.
It's an amazing package, and it just the amount of innovation here. I'm sure your designers were working, through the night, because people say, well, yeah, they made it shorter. That's you're going, yeah, well, that's all well and good. You can't just start cutting things off. You got to make it work. And when you start cutting things down, guns become unreliable. You change everything, and so now you got to go back to the drawing board on it, don't you?
You're 100% right. Everybody assumes that this is simply shortening a barrel. When you get down to that length, to make that gun slow down and to make it so that it's not corroding parts of that short of a length, it was a pretty monumental task. And our engineers worked day and night to get this thing to where it needed to be. And luckily for our commercial users, we had a lot of, hard deadlines to get this gun out to the market. And they worked hard and long to make sure that this thing was fully ready to go and tested, and we released the commercial version right at the same time that we really brought this gun out, and it's exciting. I mean, it's really revolutionary. I mean, if you look at other comparable pistol variations in the market, there's nothing even really close to this thing.
I know there are people who say, "Oh, that's well and good, but I'm not riding around the Middle East, on a special ops mission. What's in it for me? What would your average citizen in the United States do with one of these?" What's your answer to that?
That's a great question. So this becomes the ideal situation for a gun that works well underneath your truck seat for personal defense. It works well for a gun in your house, to be able to have a gun when you're going from bedroom to bedroom in a house. You're working in pretty tight quarters, which is why a lot of people are going to smaller CQB ARs in their house. This thing gives you something that truly is, it's virtually only a little bit bigger than a handgun that you can store in your bedroom or in your safe, to be able to have something that you can use for home defense. That's a much more compact package than what you're seeing currently right now with most of the longer length carbine ARs on the market.
Not to mention having 25 to 30 rounds in one magazine ready to go.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we have people doing both. I mean, we sell it with a 30-round mag, but it actually pulls it down to you can put a 20-round mag in this thing. And one of the cool parts about this gun, everything we designed around this gun, we designed it to be deployable quickly from a bag or wherever you need to pull it from. We actually did smooth side deflector. We removed the forward assist. We went to a low profile grip. we pulled everything as skinny as possible and made as few snag points as possible. So when you go to grab this thing in whatever situation you need it in, you're going to be able to rip it out really, really fast. You have the most narrow platform you can possibly get for an AR.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm sitting there looking at this online. I'm going, how do I go about? I got to save up some money, man. I got to get one of these. This is a have to have kind of gun.
It is. We got. I mean, it was pretty remarkable the first week to see how much attraction it got from people out in the market. I mean, we knew it was going to be big, but we were pretty surprised how big it was. But I really think it's answering a lot of questions that a lot of people have been looking for in this market. I mean, everybody's looking to go smaller and smaller, making custom builds, try to get down as small as you can. If you can buy a gun that's 16 inches and 5 pounds out of the box, it answers all the questions you have without having to do much.
Oh, yeah, by the way, it's SIG. So, you got quality there.
Exactly.
Patrick, that is great stuff, man. The Rattler, the Virtus, you guys just keep cranking them out. I am impressed, partner.
Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, yeah, check it out on the SIG site, sighour.com. You can take a look at what we're talking about. All right, we're open lines for you right now. Looking at, range support, what are you shooting? You're thinking about buying anything, and are you doing anything to get ready for the hunting season? Have you ever pulled a gun out for the hunting season and found out, oh, yeah, I meant to get that thing worked on. It's not working right? 866-TALK-GUN.
You know and trust Springfield Armory. Now that trusted gunmaker has an AR-15 rifle with all the features you want. The Saint features a mid-length gas system, a heavy tungsten buffer, and a 16-inch chrome Molly barrel with a 1 8 twist rate. Plus, the Saint has Bravo Company's Key Mod handguard, the next generation of America's personal defense rifle. See video of the Saint in action at springfield-armory.com. That's springfield-armory.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Crimson Trace announces the revolutionary Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system. Combining a green laser at 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type modern sporting rifles, Link offers wireless control of the laser and light from the ergonomic replacement grip, eliminating the need to reach for the rifle's forend. Link. Smart, simple, secure. Available now. Visit crimsontrace.com to find a dealer near you.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Let's see. Oh, here's a recall we need to get some word out on. Battenfeld Technologies announces a recall involving its M&P AR-15 rifle lower parts kit complete. It's an aftermarket parts kit from Battenfeld Technologies. Says the recall does not include and is not related to Smith & Wesson factory-produced complete M&P rifles. It's called the M&P AR-15 Rifle Lower Parts Kit Complete from Battenfeld Technology. If you bought one of those, you need to contact these guys at Battenfeld. Find out what they need to do about that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Jack is with us out of Texarkana, Texas on 3. Hello, Jack. Thank you for your patience. How can we help you?
Well, thank you, Tom. I'm looking for some information, Tom. I had several rifles that somebody found that they needed them worse than I did, and they took them. And some of them are non-replaceable. And what I was wondering is, when I buy these guns, you register for them. So I used to have all my stuff on camera, on film, but I can't find it now. So I don't have my serial numbers, and I don't have the pictures of most of them. Can I go in somehow to the federal registry, because you have to give them your concealed handgun number and everything? You can't do it.
Nope. There's if the FBI is following the law, which I have reason to believe they're not, there is no registration of the guns, which I'm sure there is a record somewhere, but it's against the law for them to keep that information. What you could do, let me ask you this. Did you buy those from a gun store?
The most of those were bought at the trade shows. I go to Market Hall sometimes here in Dallas, and
gun
different
shows.
Trade shows around. And you have to fill out the registration. I had a 300 Browning, Winchester mag, and a T-Bolt.
It would be a lot of work, but one thing you could do, if you knew who you bought them from, because these are gun stores that are exhibiting there, you could go to the store if you knew who you bought it from and when. They could possibly go into their records. Where were the guns stolen from? Were they taken from your home?
On my property. I had them out in my shop. They were in a safe out in my shop. And I had opened up this safe because I had a bunch of pistols in there too, and I took all those pistols out to do some trading. And I'd had left the safe open, but nobody was in and around that I knew of. Anyway, somebody
you left your safe
somebody
open.
that knew I left the safe open because it's kind of difficult to open. It's got a combination type thing.
You don't need me to say anything about that, do you?
No, I think I've learned my lesson.
Oh, okay. And you had a record of them, but was it on camera? Was it on actually film camera or a digital camera?
No, it was on a digital camera. I'd taken my cell phone, and this has been years ago, and just taking pictures, and I wrote the numbers down on paper and laid it with the gun and took a picture.
All right, let me ask you something. What kind of phone do you have? Do you have an iPhone?
Yes, I do. I have I'm talking on a.
Your pictures may be getting automatically backed up to the cloud. With your iPhone.
That's possible.
You may be able to access those photos. Have you looked on your phone to see if the photos are there?
No, I have. Well, I have been through part of them. I've got thousands of photos because
I understand.
When I'm traveling, I take photos.
That's a good thing, because if it's like way back, now it's going to take some time, but it's entirely possible that those photos are still there.
Okay.
That would be what I would do. It would be worth an hour or two of your time to just scroll and look. And if you're not sure how to do it, check with the iPhone backup, iDisk, wherever they're storing stuff, iCloud. But I would certainly look there, because if you took them with your iPhone, there is, I think, an excellent chance that those pictures are still there and you can get to them.
Well, I will start researching that situation immediately.
Very good. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry that your guns were stolen. We can talk about leaving safes open, kind of defeats the whole purpose of them. But thank you, Jack. Frank, or Jack. I got Jack, and then I got Frank coming up next. In fact, let's go right there. Frank is on line 2 out of Elk City, Oklahoma. Hey, Frank.
Hi.
Hey there. Oh, no, that's a terrible phone there. Walk outside. Do something that gives me a better signal, because you're breaking up impossibly. Keep talking to me. We'll see if you come back in. Go find something. Hang on to a metal pole or something.
Am I back in now?
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Frank.
I'm going across Nebraska, and went down a hill. Real quickly before I lose it again. Dry fire, I know, is okay since you've been talking about it. But I used to hear it was not good. Is there some older guns that you should not dry fire?
Well, possibly. And one of the things I hear a lot is don't dry fire rimfire guns. I'm not sure that that's true, but I know that it's okay to dry fire your center fire guns. So your rifles and your handguns that are center fire, you can dry fire those. There's no problem there at all.
Okay. So, okay. I just wanted to make sure, because I had older guns and I practiced with. No,
yeah, should be fine. And the main thing is, what you really want when you're dry firing is to get the sights on the target, and you put a target on the wall or something after you've made triple sure that everything's unloaded. And you want the sights to remain on the target after the trigger is pulled. You're looking for a continued sight picture after the shot and hold on the target. A lot of people take the shot, then they just drop the gun down. Well, that defeats the whole purpose. What you're looking for is the sights are on the target, press the trigger, it goes click, and the sights stay on the target and hold it for a count of 2, 1001, 1002. Now work it. You do that 1,000 times. Do that 10,000 times so that you get used to when you press the trigger, you expect to see the sights remain on the target. We always talk about if you take one shot at the range, you get 2 sight pictures, the one before and the one after. If you take 2 shots, you get 3 sight pictures, okay? So you're always making sure you're on the target after the shot. You never know when you're going to need that extra shot, whether it's a big deer, elk, moose, or a bad guy, or the second bad guy. 866 Talk Gun. What are you taking to the range these days?
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Sometimes you think our rules, our laws that we have to know and deal with are bizarre and strange. Professional golfer Ben Crane has just assessed an 8-stroke penalty for having stickers on his club heads. Yeah, okay, that's stupid, but there you go. 866 Talk Gun gets you in here. Line 3. AJ is out of Kansas. AJ, sound like something happened to you. What happened here, man?
Well, I've been working for a company for about 5 years, and last year the company was purchased by a Fortune 10 company. And one of their policies that they rolled out was there is absolutely no weapons, personal protection, firearms, or anything like that allowed on company property. And I'm in the state of Kansas where you're allowed to open carry. You're actually allowed to constitutionally carry concealed. And they've even went so far as to, it's a manufacturing plant. We're not allowed to carry a pocket knife, any kind of edge tool. If we need to cut something, which you do about 80 times an hour, where we're at, you have to go get a almost registered box cutter to have. And I think it's just us going overboard to try and appease the human resources folks. But it's getting to the point now where I've had 3 employees that have just up and winked because they were tired of it. They felt they couldn't do the job properly and went other places. So I didn't know what the legislation was on that since we're in a state that allows that. Does the company are they allowed to enforce a rule that goes against the state law?
Yeah, it's their property. Now, some states, and I don't know about Kansas, but some states have passed laws that says that a company cannot prohibit guns in the parking lot if they are kept in your car. Because some companies have gone as far as using dogs that are trained to smell firearms and walk them around the parking lot and have them alert on trucks or cars that had guns in them and fire the employees that had a firearm in their car, much less, on the job. Are they saying you can't have anything in your car also?
Correct.
Two things. One, I would check with, see what Kansas law is about that. But I would also go find your state representative and senator and say, this is what's happening. We need a law passed in Kansas. And it sounds like, given that you have constitutional carry, it's a gun-friendly legislature, and have a law passed that says you can't do this. You can't prohibit having a firearm in the car on the company parking lot, because what that means now is you are prohibited from having a firearm as you go to and from work. It makes you vulnerable there. They can still say you can't have it on the job, and they can say you can't have a knife on the job. Your choice is to, you have three choices. Well, two basically. It breaks down. You can ignore it and do what you want to do. If you get caught, you lose your job. It's not that's basically what's going to happen. Or
Right.
two, you can find another job.
Fair enough. And I really appreciate you letting me get my senator involved. And I know you're right. And I was just wondering, I don't know if you've got a slow writing day, maybe if you could mention to Senator Moran, maybe it's time to look into that, because I'm just saying, voices rumble everywhere.
Hey, AJ, if you don't mind, since it's a Fortune 10 company, it's a huge company, what's the name of the company, man?
Oh man, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Let's just put it this way: if you watch enough Notre Dame football, that's kind of the apparel that I might be manufacturing.
Okay, we got it. Thank you, AJ. Be careful out there. Let's see here. Hey, what? Let's get Thomas in. We got time for this. Line 2, Thomas, Sandy, Oregon. Hey, Thomas, talk to me.
Hello, Tom Grisham. It's an honor to speak to you, sir. I was just calling about how you were talking about people that have been to prison and should be able to have their rights back.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a convicted felon, and I've also got my rights back by going back to the court and appealing to the court and got my gun rights back. Okay. Now I own 18 rifles and 4 pistols.
What was the process to get your rights back?
Well, see, I was convicted for what they call a Rob 3, which is a strong arm robbery. I went to go do a beer run when I was about 17 years old, and one of the guys pulled out a cap gun and actually pointed it at the steward, so therefore it became an armed robbery.
Wow. One of the teenagers you were with did that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Huge mistake. So I took a plea bargain, and it made it to where I can get I made sure that I took my plea bargain to where in the future I can get my gun rights back. 10 years later, I got my gun rights back because I filed an appeal and filled out all the paperwork and all that stuff. So long story short, I have taken, since I have got my gun rights back, I have taken out maybe 10 to 15 people to learn how to shoot guns. I've taken them out to the range. I have shown them how to use pistols correctly, and I've shown them how to use rifles correctly. When you talk about, ex-cons not able to have their gun rights back, it's a huge disservice to people that have made mistakes.
Let me ask you a question, because we're getting this question from the studio here. When you're filling out, you're buying a gun, you got that 4473 question. It says, have you ever been convicted of a felony? How do you fill that out?
I fill it out with no. I say no because I have been expunged.
So, and I'm not a lawyer, I don't know how that works. It would seem to me that if you've been convicted, you've been convicted. The answer is yes with an explanation. But you're saying that the correct answer is actually no.
No, my lawyer has told me that I could put a check mark on the no because my record has been expunged.
Huh. That is fascinating. I did not know that's how it worked. Look, I appreciate the info. I got to run to the break here, AJ, but or rather, Thomas, I appreciate your calling in. Fascinating. Yeah, I mean, it is my position that as soon as you have served your sentence, whatever it is, paid your fine, that you should not have this ban on owning guns, period. I think the whole idea of the prohibited person is bogus, and we should get rid of it. You're either in jail or you're not. You're either, if you're on probation, that's a whole different deal. But if you're not on probation, you're not on parole, no, you get your rights back. All of them. All of your rights back. Do you agree or do you disagree? And tell me why. 866-TALK-GUN.
The holster that changes shape with your lifestyle is finally here. Alien Gear Holsters proudly presents the revolutionary Shapeshift modular holster system. The Shapeshift Starter Kit is a base package containing one holster that can easily switch between 4 of the most popular carry positions, including IWB, OWB, appendix, and paddle, depending on your preference or activity. Find more information, including future carry options like shoulder and drop thigh, at aliengearholsters.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Nosler has been a leader in bullets and ammunition for decades and keeps growing with new product introductions that follow this tradition. Accurate, highly effective bullets and ammo for long-range shooting, precision rifle competition, and big game hunting. To be the first to hear about new product releases and promotions, follow Nosler on Facebook and Instagram and become part of the conversation. You won't settle, and neither will we. Nosler.com.
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it, and we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American built, American strong. Surefire.com.
It's America's favorite .22 rifle. No matter how, where, or what you like to shoot, there's a Ruger 1022 for you. From the carbine to the incredible takedown models, the tactical and target versions, all Ruger 1022 models have a legendary action and detachable 10-round rotary magazine. Whether you're hunting squirrels or tin cans, there's a lifetime of fun in every Ruger 1022 rifle. See them all at Ruger.com. That's Ruger.com.
All right, let's go straight to the phones. Line 4, Dave was with us out of Kansas. Hey, Dave, you got a comment on our last caller there?
Yeah, I was just going to state that Kansas, in kind of follow-up, it is a preemption state that under Kansas statutes, employers cannot prevent employees from storing their loaded weapons on in their personal vehicles, even on the employer property.
Okay, let me ask a question here, because there's two different things going on here. One is state preemption, but that usually says that other governmental entities cannot pass gun control laws. That would not apply to a company. Is there a separate law in Kansas that prohibits companies from doing that?
Yeah, in the Personal Protection Family Act, it it prohibited even private employers from preventing employees to have firearms in their personal vehicle stored. Now, they can prevent them from carrying them into their buildings or through as part of their employment, but even in company-owned and even in fenced parking lots, they've kind of come out, from what I've read of the Attorney General's opinion, saying that they can't be prevented under that law. And another source for him, the Attorney General's website in Kansas has a real good section devoted to concealed carry and all the updates in the concealed carry and the open carry and constitutional carry laws on their website. So it's a real good source of reference for really everybody, and that's part of the reason I kind of always encourage everybody, even though we don't have to have them in Kansas, to get their concealed carry permits and kind of get a background in some of the base of that law and the use of force laws and everything else.
Excellent. Well, that's for AJ, who was saying that his company that was bought by a Fortune 10 company now has a no guns policy. They're not allowing guns even in the parking lot. And so, according to you, Dave, that's actually against the law in Kansas. And somebody needs to inform the company that you're in violation of state law. Probably would be best if an employee doesn't do that, but he has somebody else from the outside inform the company you can't do that. And maybe the Attorney General would be the right one to let them know.
Employee, I would kind of take the don't ask, don't tell policy. It's just out of sight is out of mind.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, and then this has happened a number of times, don't ask, don't tell, you got your gun in your car, but now they're going through the parking lot. I've known of companies that have actually told employees, come out here and open your car up so we can search it, and if you refuse, they just fire them on the spot.
Yeah, Kansas, I'm glad to say Kansas has been pretty proactive in that. And as of the last 2 years, they've put preemptions from government entities from prohibiting employees from carrying during the course of their employment, even at work. And so then, of course, a bunch of municipalities, to get around that, said, well, we can't prevent you from carrying in the vehicle or in the building, but you can't carry during the course of your work or in any of our vehicles. So then they had to go another year and fix that and preempt that. So now they can't prevent you even in government-owned conveyance. It doesn't affect the private companies, but...
And each person needs to find out what it is in his or her state, because this is a state-by-state deal. Dave, thank you so much for your call. That is very good information. And for AJ, now you know what the story is there. Let's go to line one. Terry's with us out of Marietta, Georgia. What do you think about buying here, Terry?
Hey, I was looking at buying a Dan Wesson 1911 Valor tactical version, 45 ACP.
Okay.
And I was wondering what your opinion was on it. I know they're pretty pricey, but I've always wanted a 1911, and I think I can go ahead and swing it.
What do you plan to do with it? What's the plan? Just for shooting, for carrying, for what?
No, just for shooting. Just to have a 1911. I always wanted one, not for carrying.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 1911s are great fun to shoot. As to the specific gun you're asking about, the Dan Wesson, I'm not as familiar with their lineup. There are a lot of companies making 1911s now. And, I mean, Springfield Armory, SIG, Smith & Wesson, Colt, obviously, Kimber, a lot of companies. I would say shop carefully and look at all of the options out there. I would not get locked in on one until I've looked at everything that's out there, and check the deals. If you don't have it, make sure you got on your smartphone the Gun Dealio app that we put out. It's available at Google Play and also at the App Store on an iPhone, and check that out for any deals that are out there. So, but yeah, 1911s are sweet, fun to shoot. Buy a good one. Oh yeah, when you get one, buy good mags. Don't buy cheap mags. Everybody goes, yeah, but I can get a mag for $6. Yes, you can. It's a $6 mag. Buy better mags, because usually if there's a problem with the gun like that, a 1911, it's probably the mag, if nothing else. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. You have a 1911. How much do you love it? All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun. We're going to go straight to line 3, where Gene is joining us out of Wichita, Kansas. I'd ask, do you think that you should lose your rights for life, your gun rights for life, on the conviction of a felony? Gene, you got some thoughts on this?
Yes, I do. I wasn't clear whether you supported that or not, but I'm going to tell you my opinion. After 40 years in law enforcement, I mean, do you seriously want a convicted murderer, rapist, armed robbers? Do you want to put firearms back in their hands again? I understand I think they've served their time to society, but at the same time, you give up certain rights when you commit those type of crimes.
Okay, what about somebody who, like this guy, he was 17 years old, his buddy pulls out a toy gun in a store, and all of a sudden he's been convicted of a felony because his buddy was stupid and robbed a store while he's with him? Bad life choices. Pick better friends. Really?
Yes, I think so. I did.
So for the next 70 years, for something stupid that his buddy did when he was 17, he's robbed of his constitutional rights.
Then he should have got a better lawyer.
That's it. That's all you got?
Hey, I deal with this all the time. All the time.
And let me ask you this. I got a question for you. How's it working? How's it working? Are we keeping felons from getting guns?
No, we're not.
No, of course not. It's not doing a damn thing. All it's doing is punishing people like this kid who is 17. We get no benefit from it whatsoever, and we get a ton of problems from it, and we rob people of their constitutional rights. I am for getting rid of it altogether.
And that's because we keep giving up. We keep giving in to them, and until we keep this 5-year penalty under the federal law, once they've been convicted and then they go and sign, yes, I can get a gun again after, even though I've done my time and everything, we catch them with that gun again. It's 5 years. Now it's a federal penalty.
I have no problem if you want to enforce the law. The problem is right now we don't do anything about it, and it's not doing us any good. We're not getting any, as a society, we're not getting any benefit out of it. If somebody's a bad guy, he's a bad guy. He's going to break the law. If somebody broke the law when he was 17 because his stupid buddy pulled out a toy gun and pointed it at somebody, and now he can't get his gun rights for life, that makes no sense. Look, I get it. You deal with bad people, your career law enforcement. I get all of that. But I'm looking at it from the other side. I don't think there's a benefit to society here, and I think people make mistakes, but when you pay for them, it should be done. I do not believe in a life sentence on your constitutional rights. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your service there, Gene. But in this one, we're going to just disagree. It's just what it is. Thank you, sir. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. I mean, you heard it. Guy's 17 years old. His buddy pulls out a stupid toy gun and robs a store with it. And all of a sudden, you're going, yeah, well, you made bad life choices. Yeah, well, you know what? Every 17-year-old makes bad life choices or choices in your friends. Should you lose your constitutional rights for life for that? I don't know. I don't think so. But then again, I don't think there ought to be a background check either. I don't think you should have to have a background check at all. Or, you know what? Let's do it this way. If you have to have a background check to buy a gun, you should have to have a background check to buy a phone or a computer or any other communications device, because that's part of the First Amendment. Oh, we can't do that, Tom? Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to point out the hypocrisy out there. All right, if you'd like to join us for the after show, give me a call right now, 866-TALK-GUN. It is fun. You will enjoy it, and you can be a part of the madness. In the meantime, go out and do a little shooting. Remember, National Hunting and Fishing Day this Saturday. Find a place that's having an event. Volunteer to help. It's all about getting more kids involved in these outdoor sports, these lifetime sports. That's the future of our culture, and that is the future of our country.